In this life, my friend, it is virtually impossible to achieve anything worthwhile until and unless you give yourself permission to become fearless. Alright? So in this video, I'll share with you why and how you can become fearless, and this is a video you do not want to miss. Dimitri here. Let's get right into it. A couple of things I would like to actually address first of all. Just because you decide to place demands on your brain doesn't mean that things are going to actually all of a sudden change overnight. It's almost impossible. That's number one. Number two, just because you've been working on your hippocampus, as a collective group of people, does not mean that because you've actually been able to reach a place where you have stored so much knowledge in your brain that all of a sudden life is going to change for you as far as whatever goal you've set in front of you are concerned. That's almost also impossible. Placing demands on your brain will not change your life overnight. Having acquire a great deal of knowledge will not change your life overnight. As a matter of fact, the world is filled with people who basically have gone to school, have collected PhD after PhDs, who basically have not actually achieved much. As a matter of fact, you may sit down and talk with some of them and realize that they are just as uninteresting. I don't want to say dumb, but as uninteresting as people basically have never actually gone to school. Why? Because knowledge in itself does not actually lead to transformation as far as one life is concerned. And this is just something tremendous I would like to share with you today. Let's just go back to the brain. The brain is, yes, a tool that actually designed to give us what we're looking for. Provided, of course, that we actually are very intentional and clear as to what we want to achieve. That is true. But in order for the brain to actually function properly, in order for the brain to actually function effectively, you need to actually be able to optimize your brain. So you need to start working, for example, on your hippocampus and making sure that your brain is actually understanding that, yes, this is how this brain is supposed to be working, and this is how exactly I want this brain to be actually functioning. That is true. But there's also something key that we have to understand. There's what scientists call the ancient brain, which is basically this part of the brain that's called amygdala. And this amygdala job is basically to give us this almost automatic response, fight or flight response when we are facing danger. And it's ancient brain because, of course, this is something that our forefathers, our ancestors always had in the brain. It was ingrained in the brain because it was something that helped them survive the hostile environment in which they continue to find themselves. But of course, as we evolve, this part of the brain remains with us because it is there to help us simply deal with danger and deal with such situation that require for us to be present in order for it to be able to survive and actually find the right mechanism and the right response to deal with whatever is coming our way. But scientists also have come to understand that yes, this part of the brain is also one of the key reasons why most people don't actually achieve much, because you may have all this knowledge, you may have all this great ambition to do certain things, but as soon as the amygdala knows that yes, you're about to do something, pointing to all the potential danger that might be coming your way, and simply say, no, you want to do this, no, it's not a good idea. As a matter of fact, X, Y, Z could actually be coming your way, so please don't do it. And before you know it, a man with great intention, a woman with great intention, with great knowledge, simply find themselves in a place where they are paralyzed, and they start doing the right thing, they start doing the wrong things, and they start self-sabotaging, and before you know it, nothing is happening. Why? Because the ancient brain, the amygdala, has actually suddenly taken over. And one of the reasons why, for example, when you go to the army trainers, they will always go to a place where they're going to find a way to instill new behavior, new routine in the new recruit, so that the new recruit will actually come to a place with actually functioning with fearlessness. Why? Because until and unless they find a way to deal with the amygdala, part of the brain that actually can constrict certain action, nothing is going to be happening. So this is the reason why, as far as you and I are concerned, and until and unless you find a way to actually understand how the amygdala works and actually start working to actually manage the responses of the amygdala, you are not going to be able to actually effect the change you're so looking for. Let me just give you a story, and I'm going to give you just a basic strategy you can actually implement in your own life that can help you deal with the responses of the amygdala. A few years ago, I was living in Belgium. I found myself in a place where I needed to start working. I needed to find a job. So I found a job at a restaurant, and the job was actually during the summer. And the job was actually very interesting. At first, I thought that my bosses didn't like me. And as a matter of fact, at first I thought that my bosses were a bunch of, how can I put it, racist people. I kept saying to myself, but you allow me to actually come work for you, but why are you so mean to me? That was as my young brother was actually thinking. Why? Because as soon as I started working there, the very first day was actually rough. Because as soon as I started working there, my job was just actually to be a dishwasher. And as I was a dishwasher, nobody told me that it was going to be this traumatic. Why? Because as soon as I started working, the very first day I started working, they said to me, yes, it's time to start working now. Okay, things are coming your way, and I need this to be washed. And the gentleman would have been just cooking something in the pot. It would take the hot pot, put it in my hand and says, now you have to go wash it. My goodness, the very first time I was able to touch that, I screamed. I said, but the pot is hot. It says, I don't care. You have to wash this. And of course, I realized that this was the MO. So I started washing this. And of course, the very first few days was actually rough. But the more I started doing, the more I realized that, my goodness, it's rough, it's hard. But my hands, my limbs are getting used to this heat. And as a matter of fact, the heat is not actually doing anything to me. To the point where many years later, if I left this organization, I'm still able to actually deal with hot stuff in the kitchen because my body has been conditioned to understand that yes, heat can kill you, heat cannot do anything to you, because I was trained by people that if you want to work in the kitchen, you have to be able to handle the heat. I mean, just one thing I like to actually put also very clearly out there so that people know exactly the environment which I was working. Of course, after the first few days, I realized that these people were not racist at all. They were just trying to teach me the ropes of the job. And number one, number two, they were, as a matter of fact, very gentle people. Because during the break, the chef would actually cook some amazing meal, and the chef will always request for me to come sit with him. And I kept saying to myself, but this guy is so quote unquote mean to me during work hours. But how come he's so nice to me, so gentle with me during the break? And I realized that he was just teaching me basically how to handle the heat in the kitchen. And this is something, it's a skill that I've never actually lost after all these years, to the point where a few years ago I went to spend some time with my friends during, I think it was the beginning of fall. And as we were spending time outside, it was getting, of course, cold. So my friend decided to actually start a fire. And as I started the fire, something to be actually moved in that fire. So I reached my hand to actually grab one of the, and the people started screaming, no, don't do that. I said, but why are they screaming? Because I said, I realized these people have never worked in the kitchen the way I actually worked a few years ago, so they don't have my training of the ability I've actually developed to actually handle hot stuff as far as the kitchen and hot stuff are concerned. So I just started laughing to myself and say, yeah, this is really fun, because you know what? We don't come from the same place, so I can see where they're coming from. So why am I telling you the story? I'm telling you so because I just want to actually highlight one key thing. Because I've been trained to actually bypass the response of the amygdala and still do it anyhow. And this is now the simple formula or strategy I can share with you to actually be able to deal with the amygdala responses as far as your own brain is concerned. Number one, you have to find a way to identify for yourself exactly what you want to learn as a new skill. Number two, you simply have to give yourself an assignment that no matter what, you're going to commit to doing exactly what is required to make that thing happen, no matter how scared you could be. And if you can put yourself in a place where you say to yourself, I'm going to do it no matter what comes my way, and I'm going to commit myself to this process for about 66 days. If you keep doing that, my friend, you're going to find yourself in a place where that routine, that habit is going to become so second nature that no matter what the amygdala is going to try to do, you're going to do it anyway, because you simply learn a skill to actually become fearless in a particular thing. And once you become fearless in a particular thing, nothing that will come your way will take that fearlessness away from you. And once you build that skill in one particular thing, you can start extending that to other areas of your life and see how slowly but surely you're going to become fearless and simply do things your own way no matter what. Alright? I'm gonna stop here right now. But before I go, 4 key things I'm gonna kindly ask you to do. Number 1, please make sure you like this video. Number 2, please make sure you leave a comment in the comment section. Number 3, please make sure you share this video out as many people as possible. Last but not least, please make sure to subscribe if you've not already done so. Alright, the best is yet to come, but as I keep saying, enough for the best to be manifested. You and I have to remain intentional, and as far as this particular presentation is concerned, you have to be intentional in understanding how your brain works, and make sure that you actually do what you're called to do in order for you to actually be able to override the natural and automatic response of the amygdala in that particular thing. Know exactly what to do it anyway, do it for about 16 days, and actually implement that new habit in your DNA, and see how basically slowly and organically this feeling is going to simply manifest in your life, and also translate in every other part of your life, and turn you into a giant, the giant will actually so designed to be. Alright, love you so much. I'm out.